All right, we're live. This is Tales from the Flipside Monday night. I don't even know what episode it is. 280 something. I don't even know. We got Flipside Comic Con on Saturday. I'll spend a little bit talking about that. We got market report. We got news. We got stuff. We got Yeezy packing up books as it goes. A little whatnot sale action. So let's get this going and let's go. So here we go somewhere. I don't even know where all my stuff. There we go. All right. Look at all these people. Not just me. I have friends. It's,
Dino and I for a minute were like, I think it's just us.
I mean, we're doing a Flipside Tuesdays thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as I was planning on being on Tuesday was my real plan.
Yeah, I know. Tuesday's canceled because I gotta go work at the bar. I gotta go. I'm becoming SpongeBob SquarePants. I gotta work the fryer. So.
and then when you told me I could sit here and pack stuff, like I was kind of like, all right, I'll join.
Yeah, it's no big deal, dude. It's all good.
Yeah.
I was out somewhere yesterday, Dino. I can't remember where it was, but I swear to God, I saw your doppelganger. I almost was like, "Are you in fucking Indy?"
Well, it could be. Maybe I am. I could be like Doc Joe and go to Ohio and never tell anybody.
He didn't quite have as nice a beard as you, so that's what threw me. It was a little too clean shaven.
I know. What else? Oh yeah, so let's talk about this. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. People hate this stuff. I hate it too. I feel like Rogan, like doing the ads on Rogan. It's terrible. My little shilling of things. If you're cool, you want to join, it's $1 a month to be a dirty flipper. You got some cool things. You get priority comments. We all know. Starting at 9, 9:15, whatever, 9:12. I start when I start. It's usually 15 minutes after, and it just sets it by 15 minutes by default. I can't set it like sooner because Facebook craps out on me. So. For a buck a month.
Depends when we all get here, man.
Pretty much. So for a buck a month, it's like a crappy book of some dollar bending that you're doing. You can be a dirty flipper. So, and I'll just all the proceeds and whatever you want to call them, all the stuff, I'll just donate it back to the channel. I don't care.
Just don't Urban Dictionary what dirty flipper means.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I don't even want to talk about that. I didn't even get that
Urban
job.
Dictionary anything.
Yeah, I didn't get the job because I don't know.
They all mean the same thing, I think.
That's the problem. It's funny. Let me look real quick. I think I can see how many members we have. I think we had like 20 something, so that's kind of cool. See memberships. I don't know. We were at 20 something plus 20, so almost 20 some odd vendors. That's cool. Or members. That's cool. I'll take it. And we'll get something good for the members. It's cool. Yes, you get priority YouTube influencer access to con exclusive lines. Yes, I mean we can work on that. That can be a gimmick I can get into.
Oh, I still have some of the cards left over when I broke cards with Dinesh and Comic Tom.
Oh, cool! Look at you. You guys sell them on eBay? They got the DNA of Comic Tom and Dinesh on them.
I have that one that's signed in hot sauce and licked by Comic Tom. So that's going to be on eBay for $1 million when I list more stuff on eBay. But I'm like Z right now. I'm being lazy about listing stuff on eBay.
Hard facts, boys. I got the boxes that I'm bringing with Carter. When I've been with Carter, I told Carter I'm gonna take over his booth and he's gonna have dollar comics and then my shitty slabs on the back. So it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully we get some sales.
So it's like the remainder of like Paul's books.
No, I sold all Paul's books.
Nice.
Well, I mean, if you've got the dirty flipper and you go to Dino's show, you are like a VIP.
Yeah. I don't. Do I have him down here?
He'll pour you a drink.
I will. I'll even buy your beer. I don't even care. Tales. I got Tales from the Flipside. Here, I sent it to Yee. Yee laughed because there was a soy sauce packet in there. I just wanted to show how big it was. That's what she said.
I asked, because I'm adding stickers to my base now, and it's all comics related. I was kind of like, oh, I'm on all these podcasts. I might as well rep all these, everyone we know. So
look, I got a Tales from the Flipside. So I said, I'll send you one, dude. No big deal.
And then I asked if it came with soy sauce.
I said I'd ship it to him, and then he said he had gallons of it, which is
I'm Chinese, so you gotta have gallons of.
I get it, dude. I get it. So yeah, so I'll have these. Yeah, I'll have these at the con too. You can yeah, I know we all don't. So basically, what it is, I'll have these at the con. People can have those too for free. I don't care. But no, it's cool. 1 second, I'm doing a bunch of stuff here. I'm in the zone.
It's right next to the sack of MSG too, so
I know, of course it is. You know it is. Saturday, August 26th, which is this Saturday. Doors open at 10. I've been getting a lot of people like last minute want to get in, so it's cool for vendor wise. I hope it's a big show. I've been, pumping it up locally. I know a lot of people might show up, so that's kind of cool from the gang. First one ever. Hopefully success. I can do more. Like I said, I'm only going to do 2 a year. I'm not going to be crazy and do one every month or some stupid stuff like that. Usually I'm going to try to do it before Comic-Con season starts and after Comic-Con season, roughly, kind of, if I can get it. But yeah, well, I appreciate this comment. I don't know about the Scarcity BS book, but that's cool. Hope it goes well. I'm sure it will. I hope so too,
good, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sleepy will be there vending. Carter, Dennis, Half Price Crook.
I'm kind of jealous, man.
Good stuff, man. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Who else is going to be there? Bob from Discord. Bob H. I don't know. I know he's in our little Discord group. I don't think he really buys too much, but who else is going to be there? Other vendors and stuff. No, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah,
you can take a picture of Mercenot palming your comic for next.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. No, I'm gonna be like everybody else. If 10 people show up, just put them in a corner so it looks like it's busy.
You're hired paying actors to talk to people and stuff like that and interact.
I'll get the crew who works at the brewery to come over. Hey, can you look like you're busy and do something?
Hey, you say comics, people will show up, man.
Yeah, I think so too. No, I hope it's cool. I was trying to get our legendary lawyer to show up, but he says he's too busy.
Yeah.
Z, are you wedding bound? Is that the deal?
I'm wedding and a soccer tournament.
Oh boy.
I will come to the next one though.
How about Big Z? Is Big Z showing up?
I don't think so. I've tried to twist his arm. He's a postman. He's been working most of Saturdays. They're driving him like a. He doesn't get many days off.
Yes.
These days. Our postal service sucks.
It does. Actually, you know what's funny about the postal service? So this guy bought a book from off a website. Reddit. I bought it off Reddit. I don't let everybody care. I bought it the 14th, and he still hasn't shipped it. Or the 11th or something.
Is it Red Hood Comics or Red Hood Comic?
I think it's comic.
Like singular?
I think
like
so.
Joe, our good friend Joe?
Yeah, I think so. He's an asshole.
Yeah, because there's two different accounts, and I've seen people try throwing Joe under the bus for something Comics is doing.
Yeah. What's the nearest airport? That would be.
Is Red Hood Comics the one in Vegas?
No, I thought he was on the.
He's on the East Coast. Yeah, I met him in Baltimore.
Yeah, he tables at Baltimore, and then they started by beginning of the weekend they started butting heads because I had the name first.
He used to be Vegas. Well, he was out of Vegas because he used to be at that store there.
But I think they patched things up by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, it used to be Torpedo. I mean, he used to be at Torpedo, I guess.
What's the nearest airport? DTW. DTW is 30, 40 minutes away, maybe on a good day.
The best thing is Ozzy didn't even realize it's his wife's birthday until today. It looks like.
Hey, I'm trying to say marriages and comic books. That's what I do. So.
Oh, dude. God. Yeah.
Okay.
Side topic before we get into the news.
Yeah.
My story from last week. That douchebag messaged me again about being an asshole.
Listen, bro, just give me.
Why are you not responding to me? Why do you not send me what I asked for? I'm like,
hey, just send them to me.
I sold the book to somebody else.
Just say I bought it, and then I'll say I'm not selling it.
But he's like,
and that'll end it, right? That should end
all
it.
I did was just ignore him, and he's like, You're ruining comics. You're one of those people I wish would just leave.
Jesus.
I'm like, I have been here selling books for fucking 12 years.
You can't send gifts in eBay, can you? And I'd be like, huh.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, Jesus.
This one? I don't know.
What a douche.
Hey,
If you're in any hangouts or discords, you got his name, so.
It's this
Yeah,
guy,
right.
isn't it? This is the guy right here. I hate you. I even know you and I hate you.
Yes, that's him.
I'm gonna message him and be like, "Yo, I bought the book. It's not for sale. Leave me alone and leave Z alone."
Leave Z alone.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna message him and say I have a very important podcast and we'll out you.
He's like throwing names around. Like, I'm gonna tell all my friends that I do business with that not to do business with you. I'm like, great. I probably know the same fucking people.
Yeah. Should we do a seller spotlight on him? I'll do it.
No,
I need to get Brian McClay to give me a seller spotlight video.
I just am telling you that there's douchebags out there. I will blast him.
It's like the guy at Motor City who told me I'm ruining the comic book industry by throwing my own Comic-Con.
I feel like isn't that encouraging the hobby?
Encouraging, discouraging.
I don't understand.
Well, I mean, and then you're trimming the fat with it too, right? You're not selling knives and like random shit.
So
like,
I am.
No, you are. My bad.
Okay, so for the record, I got two people who do art, but one does comic art and one does like cool art. I can show her. She's cool.
Art's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like hold on. See if I can get her. She's on Instagram. She does like really good stuff. It's like really I wouldn't say creepy, but
artists are fine.
And then
the root beer vendor.
Yeah. So I'm doing a cookie vendor, which is kind of dope.
Cookie vendor's fine. There's food.
Yeah, that's food. And she'll make like comic book themed cookies, so that's cool. And then I got some girls who are doing like craft stuff because like if guys are bringing women, I want them to have something. She has like this fucking sucks, and it's like a bunch of
Well, you're bringing it with beer, so that's already adding a factor that most places do not have.
Correct.
Or it'd be they do have beer, it's extremely expensive.
Look at this. The Dino line of cartoon character Harris Crunchy is a bridge too far though. Yeah, I mean, hey man, $50 is $50 for a table though, bro.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's cool. What's funny is if it gets bigger, I can add more tables and more people. I'm not trying to make it San Diego or Motor City or anything like that. I just want a cool place where people chill and talk comics and hang out and.
At least it looks like you're going to get the heat storm out of the way by then.
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah. It was hot today.
I feel like we're out there with McClay today.
Yep. Okay. News time. So Ghost Rider, the solo project, was in development pre-strikes. They will move forward with it post-strikes. So that's a little encouragement for people. Yeah. I think. Right.
Well, when did the strikes end, or is that in discussion now?
I
Never.
heard. No. I heard. Is it Chris? Tell me, WGA was going to bring something to the table. I think they're going to meet again next week. Here we go. Yeah. Here, I'll just pull it up here. So Deadline reports today at 8:31. WGA and AMPTP to meet again next week. So.
Doesn't mean anything's going to happen, but.
Yeah, but it's encouraging. At least they're not like at odds and not meeting. I guess. I guess that means something, right, Chris? I don't know.
I mean, at this point, the strike's going on now is for 4 months, like
for the writers, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, for this segment of the strike's gone on for at least 4 months, if not 5 months now. I mean, people can't afford to be not working for this long. Because I mean, so something's going to need to change soon. Hopefully, they can come to a resolution. But I mean, people are hurting. I mean, like Atlanta is. It's a little bit of a ghost town if you go anywhere near where there's studios or where filming normally takes place. Like it's a very different feel in the community right now. So
one of our lovely people who was on the show a couple of times, I talked to them about it, and they're out of a job, and it's tough. It's tough, but but hopefully they get it all squared away. And I thought it was going to be like a UPS thing where it was like down to the last second. And I I thought they would get it done, but obviously it's not going to happen. And they're,
no, there's no sense of urgency here,
which is sad. Because it's not. Nobody cares about. I mean, I know everybody cares about the actors, but it's like all the writers who really don't get paid a lot of money. Residual checks. It's like if it's a bigger show, they get bigger money. But it's like here's $100, or here's $80, or a check for $3.
I mean, and again, I always bring up the point about because people always wanted to be like, oh, the actors. It's like, well, they are a very small percentage of the people who are part of this whole machine that is the film industry.
They're the 1%, right?
Yeah, I mean, because again, friends of mine who are, they're greens, they're the ones who set up plants and stuff to make the outside of a place look like a different place, to put trees along the roads in Atlanta to make Atlanta look like Miami. One of my buddy's production crew, he builds models and molds, and he's a sculptor and stuff like that. He's making a little bit above the what the standard going rate is in the industry for that role. It's not like he's raking it in. He's a normal dude who builds this stuff for films. So
just has a cool job.
Yeah. So people who are kind of short-sighted, being like, oh, who cares about these actors, blah blah blah. It's like, no, there's a bunch of other just regular Teamster type people who do this work, and they're just they're getting the shit end of the stick in this scenario. So yeah, let's think about those people too. It's not. That'd be like saying stick it to Amazon. It was like, you do realize Jeff Bezos accounts for the highest portion of that pyramid. There are a bunch of regular people on the lower end of the rung who are getting screwed over.
It's like sports, right? It's like the owners, the players, and you got the people working the vending machines and the vendors and all that other stuff.
Well, even in the actors, 95 to 98% of them are guys just getting an episode of CSI or something.
Yeah, exactly. They're making a living wage. So little side story. That was one of the things that was one of the most eye-opening experience that I had hanging out with a friend of mine who is in the industry, but after college went out to California to break into it. And I came up to visit them after about a year or so after we graduated. And he was like, oh, I need, meet a bunch of my friends and stuff. We're going out to basically bar crawl for one of the guys' birthdays. The guy's birthday we were selling was this actor named Jimmy DeBello. So if you've ever seen Cabin Fever or the first American Pie film, he was one of those high school, college age actors, played that niche role for a while in his career. He's been on a couple of CSI episodes, things like that. But all the people who came to hang out with him were friends of my friends who were basically they had done an episode here and there, but they were still working as bartenders and waitresses and bus boys and shit like that. They still had day jobs, and they just they'd pick up a gig here and there. You'd see them on something, they get a couple extra lines, maybe do a half a season on something. But realistically, they still had to have a regular day job. They hadn't broken into things, or either they had a success and then ended up, that dried up, and they had to go back to doing regular shit again. So.
This comment here, this is interesting. I know we kind of were talking about this last week. Were you chosen one?
I said something about it in the chat, and I was like, shit, dude, I didn't even hear anything about this. I think 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they mentioned it was being made. I heard no press or discussion of this at all, and it just showed up on the feed.
Yeah,
this is nice to see. At least still working. Daughter isn't part of the union yet, so she's still getting small gigs. That's kind of nice. At least she's getting some kind of residual.
It's a mess. Even most of the actors that are regularly working, you sort of recognize aren't killing it.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of the privacy stuff, right? Piracy stuff is what I meant.
Yeah.
That became a bigger deal. That hey, not only you're not only stealing from these actors, but you're also stealing part of the everyone that's part of the production team, the people that depend on that money to make a living. So it kind of has that reminiscence.
I trust that less though when all these things we hear about the actors that get back ends and aren't getting any back ends because the studio says they're still losing money on things from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Creative accounting.
Some of me doubts that the actors are losing anything because they're probably already the books are cooked. You know.
They said Margot Robbie is supposed to get an extra $50 million because Barbie was insane. So,
well, good for her.
Yeah.
She pretty much made that movie though.
Well, so on that same point, and we can move on, is that one of the articles that popped up recently was that between Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and the Barbie movie, like that accounted for $7 billion in like money going into the American economy for people going to buy movie tickets, eating popcorn, going to concerts, buying clothing to go to the concerts, you know, hotels, flights. So like, yeah, they're basically like those three women have basically fought against the recession single-handedly this summer. I mean, seriously, in a major way. They bring $7 billion into the American economy. You know, that's a big deal. I mean, like, you know, spending money keeps us from spiraling deeper down that hole. So
my wife and several of her friends were trying to get Taylor Swift tickets, and I think it's 5 nights in Indianapolis, and they still are impossible. And you're like, holy shit, this woman is.
Yeah.
That makes like all the other concerts we used to think were tough.
So my wife's friend. So my wife's friend, what she did is she couldn't get tickets here, so she went to Austin or Texas. She went somewhere in Texas and got tickets in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah. My friend, his wife, posted on social media that she got tickets, and it's like, oh, I'm going with my best friend. So I joked to my friend, I was like, oh, you're going to the Taylor Swift concert, huh? And he's like, in this instance, best friend doesn't mean husband or whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, because he's the guy that got me like got me playing in time for like metal music and stuff like that. So like, yeah. So
I saw Taylor Swift like 10 years ago, maybe. It was okay. And her tickets were expensive back then too. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't like I was like blown away by it, but I mean,
it does prove women will spend money on entertainment.
Right. Here we go. Michael Pena's Luis was such a standout character. He's never coming back to the MCU. So. Oh bueno. He's such a good actor too. I mean, he was just in he was in, was it John Ryan, whatever.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Yep. He was in Jack Ryan. He was great in that film too, or series, I guess. TV show.
We're not gonna dig into this.
No, I just want to bring it up. There's existential. Again, I can't confirm why it was for. I don't want to really spread rumors. Yeah. It just
the Illuminati were involved.
Yes, yes, pretty much.
I thought you were gonna break it down like he was like in Ant-Man and stuff like that. I was ready for that.
Oh yes, he was in Ant-Man. Yeah, he was in Ant-Man. People were sad. You know, it's.
Well, I mean, to make a grander kind of connection, getting blacklisted in Hollywood. I mean, like, you know, everybody went and saw Oppenheimer, I assume, like, and McCarthyism and all that good stuff. I mean, that was a real thing back then. It just happens at a different scale now. But like, you know, there was a period in time where, you know, you get blacklisted and that's the end of your career. And I mean, it can still happen nowadays. You piss off the wrong people and that's game over. You know, people, I mean, especially in the Marvel system, like, you know, that one individual who was head of, you know, the effects and stuff like that, like they said that she was a kingmaker, but if you crossed her, she would go out of her way to basically crucify you in, you know, greater Hollywood going forward. So
that's why I'm not in Hollywood, Chris. I can't deal with it. This is cool. This is really cool. So assuming X-Men 97, the series that's coming out soon, is a success, there might be a continuation of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, Spider-Man 98, that Mr. Chris Gilbert told me that it was a what do you call open hole, I guess.
Yeah, so it ended on a cliffhanger that they were supposed to, I think either season 4 or season 5, whatever the next season that was coming, they were, because Mary Jane went missing. So basically they swapped in Mary Jane for, because I guess at that time it was the 90s, people had more connection with her than Gwen Stacy. So in this series, Mary Jane was the placeholder in a lot of those Gwen Stacy stories. One in particular was the the falling off of the bridge, except she didn't die. She falls through, you know, she just disappears. She goes missing. She pops up again. She's briefly a clone. So they did the Clone Saga thing using Mary Jane instead of using Gwen Stacy. But yeah, like the whole thing was going into that last season was, where is Mary Jane? And they were supposed to put a bow on that and find her somewhere in the multiverse, because they did it first. Actually, their final 3-series arc of that final season was a multiverse arc where he even meets Stan Lee in it at one point. Madam Web's all a part of it. A bunch of Spider-Man from all different types of multiverses.
This is the series with Madam Web and a lot of Cyan, or is it Arcane, or no, whatever that guy's name is. A lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a solid series for. I mean, this definitely was exactly in my wheelhouse with the kids. So I'd be excited to see them finish telling that story of what happened to Mary Jane in that last season.
I don't remember this for some reason.
I was in college for this one, so I don't remember much. I remember it existed, but I don't think I was watching it actively.
Was it this one?
Yes, it was that one.
Yeah, and it had the guitar
Yeah.
Yep, the electric guitar heavy intro.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember watching this, but I was thinking, if this was a 93, right? 94. What was I doing? I was 85, 94. I was at 9, 10 years old. 9 years. Yeah. This is kind of before my time. I remember the animated series, but not this series.
I think this one was a little after my time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is the one that came on the heels of the X-Men animated series, because Fox was trying to make their whole big interconnected universe with Spider. I mean, and they actually kind of pulled it off. They did a Secret Wars mini arc in this as well, where the Fantastic Four, the X-Men showed up, Iron Man. It was actually really well done, and honestly way before its time as far as pulling those connective tissues from a bunch of different series together all into one singular item.
Yeah, I look at you. You literally watched it 3 times. You have no life. No, I gotta watch it. That's fine. Mike knows me. He's cool. How about this one? This is interesting. I know we're not really talking about Market Report yet. So you showed an FF1 you acquired a little bit ago. With a downturn in price adjustments, are you holding on for big keys now?
Well, so for that book, I've sold most of the other copies of FF1, so I only have the big one left. And so, yeah, it's definitely taken a dip in value, but honestly, that's a book I'm okay with being stuck with for the rest of my life. If that happens, I got FF1. Yeah. There's worse books. Yeah, exactly. There's worse things to be stuck with long term. So yeah, still having some of my bigger Silver Age keys, with the exception of that FF1, all of them I was into for way less than what the market downturn for. So yeah, I mean, I will wholeheartedly admit I'm probably 10 grand in the hole on that book, but whatever. If I'm stuck with it for all eternity, I'm stuck with it for all eternity. Also,
there's worse things to hold, and it's very liquid even if you're a little underwater.
Yeah, so I mean, if I need to part with it, then I'll part with it. But yeah, I'm cool with keeping it.
What grade is it, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a 6.0.
That's not a bad grade to be stuck with.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're down 10 grand on it, it won't. I don't feel like it'll take much for it to boost back up.
No, and I also play the game of I look at it I try not to focus on individual books. I look at a stock portfolio. Is that my whole entire collection has gone up in value, down in value, but overall I'm still up. Even with the losses where books slipped, most of the Silver Age stuff didn't slip below what I paid for it. I mean, I still have an X-Men. I have an X-Men 1/6.5 in there that I paid $7 grand for raw. And that was before, the 2020 boom. I have another 6.0 that I bought in there for 16 grand. I can still probably get 20 to 25 for easy. So overall, I'm still up on majority of the big books that I have. So,
and you could always barter with the FF1. Say somebody came like a big deal, or somebody said we want an FF1 and an X-Men 1. I mean, you could take a little bit loss, but your other gains are gonna kind of shoot you past, right? I mean, theoretically.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the market's at when we finally see the Fantastic Four make their their debut. Maybe I'll only be $5 grand in a hole at that point. Who knows? But it's still not. It ain't necessarily rare air, but you're still getting up there with a 6.0 FF1. It's a harder one to take a chance on.
It's, if possible, just hold on to classic blue chip keys. Question is, will the modern keys come back? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some
hold those. So
There's some, but most I don't know. I mean, we hit a weird bubble.
Yeah, I'm selling silver age and bronze modern run books, rotating cash into mega keys. That's probably maybe not a bad idea.
I don't disagree with buying. I just am not sure we're at the bottom, but nobody ever is. So, goddamn, don't listen to me because I'm usually wrong.
Yeah. So buy now, everybody buy now.
I mean, I think if I ever saw an AF-15 at a attractive price, I'd think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've traded modern keys like not even that long ago, probably like 2 months ago. Like I traded Something Is Killing the Children #1 9.8 for like what was it, a Batman 181
Ivy.
For 5.0 or something like that, 4.0.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of because it was around the same price, and then I was like kind of like okay, like I'll take a trade of that. Like,
hey, he's working on it, man. Okay, he's working on it.
He's on a new house. He can't.
Yeah,
he can't set up his man cave before his partner is happy with the rest of the house.
Well, honestly, she's been pushing me, but like the way this room is set up for me to have directly in front of me is a huge window, so that makes it pretty much game over for display purposes. I have empty walls to my right and my left, and then I have a closet behind me, so it kind of makes it kind of difficult to decorate. But I will say,
would you do the J channel and put it like J channel above your, or like holders above your closet there? I mean, you could probably get stuff in there.
He would have to get like something blinds or something like that so he
exactly. That's the biggest issue with this room is that like
that's what I did. So I have a big window, but this is just an egress window, so it's not like real direct sunlight. But I just closed the blind.
Yeah.
He's got something.
Oh boy.
Well, so Legs showed off his. I might as well show off mine. So eventually, you will see this guy hung up on the wall.
That's nice.
But I couldn't take it on the plane with me, so it got shipped back. So it took a little bit longer.
It's like my wrestling belt signed by Hulk Hogan. I couldn't take it on the plane.
Wait, they won't let you bring skateboards on the plane anymore?
Well, it was more so just eating up so much goddamn space. Like, it was a packed flight to get back. So, but yeah, so you'll start to see like skate decks and things like that will start to adorn the walls. Stuff that I'm not worried about the sun fucking up, but decorating with comics in here is just too much light all the time. They'd be toast. So,
yeah.
What's up, man?
My wife told me I got to straighten up the rest of the basement and like get all the kids' shit out of here before she'll let me hang anymore.
Oh boy, I got so much shit from the old house.
I got about 10 frames sitting on the side.
We're in the same boat. I got so much shit that I still need to really. I got a whole like this bathroom that I haven't finished yet has all my artwork in it and shit that's just in a box somewhere.
I spent about $1,000 or so on framing, and then she goes, "I'm not letting you hang shit till you clean the other shit up." Okay.
My timing sucks too. I don't sell stuff, and when I do, it's like I just give shit away because I don't even care. I'm like sleepy kind of. I don't care. Yeah, blackout blinds. Yeah, it works great. Did I get to meet Hulk Hogan? No, I didn't get to meet Hulk Hogan. My cousin did. Hogan owns. So we were in Florida. He's in Tampa, obviously. So Hogan's beach shop and his bar kind of like coexist there. Usually he's at the bar. We went there. He wasn't there that day. It was just cool. But at the beach shop, that's where I was a little inebriated and bought a belt for $1,000 like an asshole. But it was cool. It was definitely cool. And maybe I'll meet him one day. Maybe. Okay, so back to the news. We're 30 minutes in. We only went 2 topics. I feel bad. Thor 5 is in development at Marvel Studios. Unfortunately, director's not going to return, but it could return, but it's not a done deal.
I thought he didn't want to work with him again.
That's what they said. But a lot of money, right, Chris? Back up the train and
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, Hemsworth has, I guess, his ideas of direction that he wanted to go. I think a lot of people weren't happy with, and I mean, I think that at that time, Taika was very much so like the golden boy of Hollywood. Like, I mean, he was coming off with Jojo Rabbit. Like, I mean, what they do in the shadows. They gave him Black Flag over at HBO. They got canceled, I think. But at that time, though, like
bangers,
he wasn't missing, and so they're just like, hey, just let him cook iso ball. And so I think now he doesn't necessarily have the cachet that he once had. So maybe Taika comes back, maybe Taika doesn't come back. Yeah, exactly. Taika will have a shorter leash because that last one was not so great. Yeah,
wasn't he like sitting there bragging, saying like, I didn't read any source material for this?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that
might have to read some to get some of that stuff.
Yeah. It could have been someone else, like an assistant or intern or something like that.
Yeah, somebody else punched up the script for it to be comic book accurate. And he just came in. It was just like change some lines here and there.
Yeah.
The most depressing part of this show, this next one. So Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier will return in Secret Wars quotations or parentheses if he's still alive by the time they start filming the movie.
He will be with us forever.
He's not that old, is he? I mean,
I think he just has looked old since he's 22, man.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
If he's gonna be sitting in the wheelchair the entire time, anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he is only spry 83 years old.
So he's younger than Harrison Ford.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, if he's taking care of himself. I mean, yeah, 83 is not like a spring chicken, but doesn't mean that he doesn't have into his 90s left available to him.
Yeah.
I mean, George Burns smoked cigars every day and was acting well into his 90s.
Yeah. So,
I mean, what was the running joke for forever? Is Abe Vigoda still alive? I mean, he comfortably lived into his 90s, I think.
Hey, if goddamn Ric Flair's still alive, okay.
Yeah. And he's done more drugs.
Yeah. Or even what's his mom from Aerosmith?
Steven Tyler.
No, Rolling Stones. Keith
Richards.
Well, Keith Richards is never dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He gained his immortal powers by snorting his fodder. So.
Yeah, I mean it happens, bro.
He's likely just actually Dracula, and we're just haven't figured it out yet.
It probably is.
I'm not allowed to say, so I signed an NDA.
So I mean, it. I don't want to.
Oh God,
sound decrepit,
Joey, that's terrible.
I know.
That's terrible.
It is. Yeah, Patrick Stewart made a Vulture. Ragnarok was great. Love and Thunder sucked.
Yeah, I mean, we all feel about the same.
Yeah, you can't hit it. You can't bat 1,000. I mean, it happens. Next week we can talk about Blue Beetle next week.
Well, I mean, I'd love to get at least Chris's reaction, if not a full review.
Sure.
I don't know. I probably won't get to see it till late this week.
I won't see it until it comes out on Disney Plus or wherever it comes out.
HBO.
HBO, sure. Whatever.
Yeah,
Max.
or Max, yeah. All right, so generally speaking, it was decent. I mean, it wasn't anything like, okay, so there were certain elements of it that I definitely appreciated. Like, so it is unapologetically Hispanic. Like, it is very much so about that. It is one of those films where they are not translating, like when they're speaking Spanish, they are not translating every single word. Sometimes if you don't speak Spanish and you don't speak like Mexican Spanish, you're just going to be lost. So there are definitely elements like that happened in the movie. There was definitely in movie references to things that are very much so part of like Mexican and Latin American culture. Like if you didn't watch specific telenovelas or like cartoons of like, Mexican television, you're going to be lost on some of those jokes. Like people in my group and in my audience were definitely like, of Hispanic descent were laughing their asses off to certain jokes, even though I can understand Spanish pretty well. I didn't catch the cultural references because I was like, oh, I didn't watch that. Like I'm aware of what they're talking about, but I didn't watch that show growing up. So it was lost on me. But hey, there needs to be stuff like that. Like there was points in Crazy Rich Asians where they didn't translate. There was points in other movies where they don't bother. I'm liking to see more of that, where it's like, no, this movie has stuff for people of that culture and it's for them.
Yeah, it's like my dad went to My Big Fat Greek Wedding back in like the 90s, and they didn't like, he would understand the joke before they translated it, and then like it was like some avant-garde shit. Like he would be laughing, and then like 3 seconds later, once it got translated, everyone would start laughing.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But here they just didn't bother. They were just like, nah, if you don't get it, then you just don't get it. Tough shit. I will say, go ahead, sir.
No, I just want to give a recap for people, real quick. $10 million on opening day, $25 million domestically, $43 million overall. It hit number one because Barbie was 4 weeks in the box office, right? 4 or 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I just want to give. Okay, go ahead. So I just want to give numbers.
I mean, I don't think that was terrible for what they were thinking.
It's the soft. Okay, so again, I'm not saying it's terrible, but they say it's the softest opening for DC movie, right?
Yeah, but it also was like plucked from DC from HBO Max.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was originally supposed to be a streaming only thing, and then it actually got a box office release, that's pretty decent.
Like, I don't think they were expecting 100 million out of this puppy.
I mean, is that not better numbers than The Flash, or is it really close?
I think The Flash is in the 70s, but I mean that was a huge movie. They didn't put a ton of. I mean, they've spent money on it, and
I mean, also let's be real about like it was hurt by the fact too that like I mean nobody could obscure character, nobody could promote for it. So it's like, I mean, I'll give. It wasn't because it was a bad movie. It truly just was the fact that it has so many things against it before it ever made it into theaters. You had the whole basically like nobody knows where it falls from a place perspective in the grander universe, because technically this is part of the previous regime, previous universe. You never see any of the big three. They're referenced, but you never see them, so it completely could continue on. There were fun elements in it. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was funny. The effects were pretty well done. Great body horror, like, character gets his power moment, body horror type stuff. It's probably one of the most gruesome transformations that I've ever seen of a character getting their power. Because normally it's very like, it's very like, funny moments. And don't get me wrong, those were there, as he was starting to figure it out. But that initial transformation is borderline fucking terrifying. Like it is something out of a Cronenberg film, because like the stuff like, the suit, the scarab's like almost like nanite technology or whatever it is, comes out of like from around his body and starts crawling into his mouth and eyes. And then he like fully transforms. But like you're watching this black goo overtake this like 22-year-old's face as he's writhing and screaming in pain while stuck like suspended to the ceiling. So it's very much so reminded me of that initial kill in the first Nightmare on Elm Street when Homegirl is just like rolling across the roof of the room like dying.
Oh yes, yeah.
So very much so that element of like I mean, they tried to make it jokey after it was all said and done, but like it's definitely one of those ones where it's like you might want to cover the kids' eyes for that one if they're young.
I heard it was a good popcorn movie though. Like it's like you're just chilling, hanging out, nothing too serious. Like people like either it's not like the in the middle.
No, I mean it's the typical superhero formula. Hero gets his powers, hero fights villain that basically has mirror image of his powers. So yeah, there you go. That is the concept. There's definitely Susan Sarandon was fun. Like her as a villain was definitely a cool play and a cool turn for her. I mean, again, all Hispanic cast. And I mean, like, even if you're not like the biggest Blue Beetle, and I mean like Ted Kord Blue Beetle fan, like there's something there for those people. So I mean, it's worth your time. Is it worth your money? I can't necessarily say that for every individual person. I'm going to go support the film industry. I want to see films in theaters, but it was worth the hour and a half that I dedicated to it. So I definitely would say go see it. If nothing else, it's a fun movie, and I am excited to see if they decide to continue on, because they can go either way with this. They can either say, "Oh, that's old world, we don't need to," or they continue on. And yeah,
this kind of demises me, because my son watches Disney and like Hulu, Nickelodeon. They were pumping the shit out of TMNT the whole week. Seth Rogen, they're doing crazy stuff. I heard it was good though. I don't know why it's not doing so great either.
I don't know. I don't think anybody thought Blue Beetle was gonna come out gangbusters. Like I have not heard a number where it was gonna get north of 40 or 50 million.
Yeah.
Not like so. People are like it's a mess. They knew it wasn't gonna be giant. I think maybe they were trying to introduce a hero. You got toy lines, you got that stuff that can play in. You're also trying to get a different market for the superhero genre.
Hey man, Halloween's just around the corner. Blue Beetle Halloween costumes, bro.
I mean, again, they're playing to a different audience that they have not, addressed, and take their shot, and we'll see what happens. They'll make some money on the streaming portion of it. It's content at that point.
Maybe this will be the one that's, a couple of years you look back, it's not bad.
No, I don't think it's going to be thought as bad.
Well,
kind of like Shazam wasn't thought as bad. It's just not great.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, this will be the last thing I say about it, but like I think once we get to this new wave of DC, at least with what Gunn and Peter Safran have said, it will be more of a machine like what Marvel had. And what I mean by that is no, like they may not be able to replicate exactly the Marvel formula, but at least Marvel had a synergy where like they would do some type of like animated thing for the kids as a lead up, or there would be an active TV show going so that like that connective tissue was there. Somebody would get like comics. They would, start re-releasing the first appearances of characters in $1 comics again. Like there was a machine there. And I feel like DC is still finding their way, but they're starting to realize, oh, we need to have like a synergy. Like what happens in, we need to have something where a character gets seen again in a game or on a TV show. I mean, they had Young Justice, and Young Justice had that whole story arc around Blue Beetle. It's just unfortunately happened almost 7 years earlier than it needed to tie into the movie. But if they were thinking, then they would have had, Young Justice would have been on the air. Those episodes would have been airing about a year in advance to prime people to be like, oh, this is who Blue Beetle is. This is why he matters. There's been a whole season dedicated to him and characters like him, so that when they release the movie, you go, oh, okay, cool, this makes sense. The same way that they're doing stuff with Kamala Khan in the comics right now. Heavy, they killed her and they brought her back as a mutant. And if nothing else, it will cause people to pay attention to what's going to happen in November with her movie, because she's back in the comics again. It's an easy entry point for new readers. If it does end up being successful, like there's a machine there that I think DC still needs to find their way to.
Well, DC hasn't excelled at the children's animation. Like other than like Teen Titans Go, which you could argue is a kid show or not a kid show. I mean, it kind of is a weird thing, but like they don't have like Marvel's got all these different age groups of Spider-Man. They've got the one that's or like the I'm gonna call it the chibi shapes. I don't know exactly what it is, but like that my 2 and 3 year old nephew watches, and then they've got stuff in the the older kid range, and then they've got something up, and they kind of build the whole tree. And DC, other than Teen Titans, has just shot for grown-up oriented,
animation
graphic novels on cartoon, animated,
Yeah,
Well,
or it's
like
been or it's been a long time since they've had stuff geared towards kids, right? Like,
I mean, we're talking about Justice League.
I would, Justice League, Batman.
That's in the 2000s.
Batman
Justice League
Adventures.
Oh, Brave and the Bold. Batman, Brave and the Bold. Like Batman had a couple series post Justice League where they kept trying.
But that was Justice League to go too.
In Justice League Unlimited, I just watched it again. It was great.
I mean, Brave and the Bold was a longer ago than you think.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Because I remember watching that on reruns with my oldest, and that was, he's 15 now. He was probably 5 at the time, and it wasn't new content.
Yeah, no, you're not right. You're not wrong. That was 15 years ago that Batman Brave and the Bold was airing. So
yeah, they just have not. They've not kept the youth market going. And like I said, other than Teen Titans Go, which was such a obscure, weird show that it doesn't really translate well. So
because it's like
that stepping stone.
Because it's like that super meta thing, right?
Yeah.
And
even the one before that was the Teen Titans was very manga, which it would probably do fantastic now.
Oh yeah, they had Super Pets the movie that no one saw.
Well, that was a shit.
Yeah, true.
It just is. I mean, they just don't have their shit together. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, but this is the other thing too. This is an underrated comment. So I know Marvel's kind of floating right now, but we've been doing superheroes a long time, guys. It's like
it's
no wonder Barbie and Oppenheimer and all these other movies are coming.
I remember we talked about this forever, even on Google Plus days, like how long can superheroes go? And I think it was John Brown who was like, trends seem to last 15 years. And he was like Westerns and cop shows. And like, he was like really getting into it. And he's like 15 years. And I'm like,
no,
it depends when you start the clock, and it's going to be a little oversaturated, and they're not going to die. But I just think there was too much, and there's some point where everybody's doing it, and then it's just too wide a swath. Quality goes down.
Yeah, no, I mean, and whoever I wasn't in Disney or the G Plus days. But like, no, that person is absolutely correct. Like the trends in film and television, like, I mean, you know, it's before my time, but the bonanzas and all that type of stuff, like the cowboy
westerns,
the cowboy, the western films, the western TV shows, the cop procedurals with, you know, in the 60s and going into the early 70s. So I mean, there's always those trends, and I mean the market saturation of the superhero genre, just everybody jumped on board, everybody's trying to option everything.
Well, I'm not saying they won't go away, because there's still westerns being made, but there's only a few westerns. You know,
I think Mario and Spider-Verse did so well. I think it's going to come down to, you know, like, you're going to have movies, right, and then you're going to have ones that are good, and everything else is going to flatline. You know, there's going to be unicorns out there that are really good. Like, I thought, like, Guardians of the Galaxy was okay to me. I didn't think it was the greatest movie around, but I mean, it's number 3. I mean,
and I wouldn't group Mario in there, because Mario has become a cultural touchstone in both the world. Like, he is I mean, for Christ's sakes, Mario was representing Japan, like, when they announced that they were going to get the Olympics next. Like, he is a cultural representation of, like, a specific time. Like, it is most of the world's introduction to video gaming. Yeah. Like, no matter how
it was mine.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, like,
I had a Nintendo. Yeah, first.
I still have a Game and Watch of Super Mario, like the first one. I still play it.
Every generation had a Nintendo system of some sort, whether it be the original. I mean, shit, Mario was on before Nintendo existed. I mean, Mario was on Atari, and then you had him on Nintendo. You had the Super Nintendo. You had the 64, the GameCube. There's been a Mario game every single generation. Mario is a cultural touchstone. So that is. We won't even group that into, first off, this video game. We won't even group that into superhero. Like, when that happened, no matter
it's like Sonic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's just certain
Mario
characters.
Spider-Man.
Yes, as recognizable, honestly, at this point. So
this is it. This is it, Chris. Taylor Swift saving Marvel. She's doing it.
That rumor's been floating around, and I guess it's back again. Well, so I'm not sure. Does everybody
a long time ago?
Does everybody know the backstory of where this whole rumor around the Deadpool came from?
Because when the first Deadpool movie came out, she showed up to a Halloween party in a Deadpool costume, right?
She showed up in the Deadpool costume. She is friends. She is really good friends with his wife.
Ryan Reynolds. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, with the wife.
It looks like this.
Yeah, so that is the actual fucking costume. That is not like a version. That is the actual Deadpool costume. She got to borrow it because she is friends with Blake Lively. Yeah. Like, for one of her, like, okay, so another cool thing, if you go look at the announcement video from when he said they were going to do Deadpool 3, it is the video, it is their actual house, and they used it for the Taylor Swift video that Blake Lively directed.
Huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're like friends. And so, I mean, it wouldn't be, I mean, at this point, he's grabbing everybody and anybody who's willing to, like, you know, do a
This is going to be the
cameo.
all-star. This is like the, what the hell was that, the AIDS benefit where every fucking musician known the man, like,
it's Live Aid.
Yeah. This is the movie version of that. Like, yo, man, you need to be on this.
I mean, it's shown to be like, I mean, like, doing a multiversal movie typically is making bank now, with the exception of The Flash. So, like, if you can get everybody to come back, like, hit those nostalgia buttons.
Look, people are making fucking, you know.
Well, she was talks to do that. I don't know how long ago.
Oh yeah, remember that was the hottest Dazzler. Remember Dazzler was the hottest fucking comic out there. There was 85 billion of them.
It was one of the indie cons. I remember I sold a shit ton of them.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility that, like, I mean, all the pieces are in place for her to say, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Like it's her friend's movie, basically. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
And that would just bring, God, like, I mean, the powers that be of Marvel are probably salivating on, like, if that's been, like, guaranteed and a lot to happen now. Because, like, whoever just made that comment about the Swifties, like, I mean, the $5.6 billion that she just generated from her tour, imagine that behind her doing a worthwhile live action debut. Not Cats, but, like, something that people actually give a shit about. Like, it'll be a game changer.
And for people who don't, like, understand what's going on right now, hold on, I'm trying to find it already.
Well, and so I see a lot of comments about superheroes being dead. I'm not saying they're dead. I mean, Westerns still happen. It just isn't the primary entertainment. Like, we'll get a good Western. You know, you got your Deadwood was playing for a while, and you know, you got good movies and good shows. It's just not going to be the only thing flying.
My trash TMZ. She went to a wedding. These were the people outside of the wedding. They had to shut down the city and call the cops. So nobody. I mean, it was. I mean, they were very nice about it, but yeah, dude. She is a. I don't even know who would be. Is she like Whitney Houston level? I don't know, like somebody who's big back in those days.
No, somebody made a reference today, and honestly, I can't even refute it. That like she may be rivaling Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or the Beatles, maybe. You know, Beatlemania.
Yeah. Like I wanted to like, but and then I had to stop and think about it, like, nah, that's not a bad.
She's there.
Yeah, I mean, like,
well, she can't go out in public, right? I mean, Michael could never go out in public and just be swarmed.
What would it be like? Would you compare it more likely to like Madonna right now situation?
I mean, no, she's eclipsed Madonna. Like,
Okay.
you still could get tickets to a Madonna show. Like, I remember being a kid and like you could still buy those tickets. Michael was the one where it was like you couldn't buy them fucking tickets. Like, they were just game over.
Right. So here's a real question: will she end up in Vegas when she gets older?
Ooh, I mean, everybody usually does.
Only if she wants to.
I mean, look at Celine Dion, right? Celine Dion did 1 million shows in Vegas. It's the easiest thing. You live in Vegas the rest of your life. You get paid a free hotel room or a free suite, you want to call it, like a penthouse suite.
But I mean, she is like, though, on the money level, she's up there with like fucking Mariah.
So, like, I have people submissions for PSA. This is from International Josh. The Taylor Swift ticket in the front, that's from her first tour.
Ooh.
And the ticket behind it is like one from the last tour, but it's just like one of those VIP like, you know, like tickets that you buy from going to the concert or whatever.
Yeah, look at facts. Look at these people. Facts. Taylor Swift is the Michael Jackson for white people. I love it. I love it.
I was like, wait, what is Michael Jackson? The Michael Jackson for white people?
Pretty much.
I mean,
I can't wait for her to have like bubbles or something like that, right?
So it's and like the same thing too. It's like, you know, it's great. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, Marvel would not pass this up, or anybody would not pass this up. Like you know, you got the biggest name out there. It's like, and she's willing to do whatever. You know,
she's like, willing to do a 2 second shot. Let her do it.
And she's. Let's say, for all intents and purposes, she's a pretty down-to-earth person coming from, you know, how famous she fucking is. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I would just like to see what that would. I mean, because somebody made the joke about like, you know, what it would do for what X-Men 130s or whatever. But I mean, honestly, like that type of like the introduction of people like that into geekdom causes paradigm shifts in the culture. Like that's what caused, you know, for better or for worse, like the Twilight, you know, YA market situation is what caused Comic-Cons to change for as we know them, because they showed up at San Diego and it was like all those fucking YA tweens showed up and we're just like, it changed the game.
Chris, could you imagine if Taylor Swift showed up at San Diego for like
a
panel, or
God forbid if they fucking have her in this movie and she decides to show up and do like a panel, like
Hall H or whatever, just show up and be like,
oh, that.
Like, it's going to be. I mean, it would be to a level that we have never seen before of just craziness, because people would just be in the city hoping that they would like run into her somewhere or see her somewhere.
She would have to be like Tom Holland, like cosplay as like somebody just to get like, you know, cosplay as somebody look totally different to like.
Well, could you imagine how much tickets would cost to get into San Diego then at that point?
Or can you imagine she did like a secret signing or something? Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, yeah, you want to see? Yeah, let her play Dazzler. Like, so if the Dazzler thing actually does happen, that is going to become the most like sought after book for probably years to come, because people are just going to, any opportunity to get her to sign that shit, they're going to be shoveling that in front of her.
I would almost gamble on multiple copies of Dazzler 198.
Look at that! Look at me looking at Dazzler variants. Let's go.
For the price point of entry, you would maybe have a lot more upside of the one.
The error
What's an
one
X-Men
or
139.8 go for? It's got to be $1,000 now.
would you do the error or would you do the normal?
I don't even know if people know.
Oh no, boys! Holy shit! Yeah, we're way past 1,000. Let's see.
Yeah, where's it at now?
I'm seeing
$2,000
out there.
Yeah, $2,000.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a top. I mean, it'll go up, but like, let's say,
Is that sold or is that just
no? That's sold.
That's
oh
sold. Wow.
What's a Dazzler 198 at?
I
think it's a couple. Yeah, I was going to say a
$200.
couple.
You can
I mean,
buy
well,
10 of those and see what happens, or one of the other. I don't know.
Is she even on the cover of 130?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Dead center.
Okay.
Introducing Dazzler.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Who knows? It's an interesting play. I
I mean,
I am not buying one. Let's just go with that. But I wouldn't say you shouldn't.
Oh, it's like when Remember when Ryan Reynolds first started signing books and just crazy stuff like that. Like, could you imagine if Taylor Swift signed a 9.8 and got a 9.8 X-Men 130 or Dazzler? I mean, fuck, you could put it up for $10,000. It'd be insane. Like,
she would have to do a CGC private signing.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, could you imagine how much it would cost to
like
send in for an autograph from her? Like, I would assume at least like what, $1,000?
It isn't. Yeah, I mean, her time is more precious than
exactly. Like,
almost in Bill Gates territory. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what comes because, I mean, of all the people who can pull it off, like, I mean, because I saw a post from Ultra talking about it being like, oh, you're breaking on this spec. I was like, yeah, but there's realness to it now. Like, before it was just like people, it was a rumor, it was wishful thinking. Like, there is a reality to this now. And like, if you don't know the full story, you'll be like, oh, it's just empty spec. But it's like, nah, those are her friends. And
I'm gonna buy this for merchandise because it says to Carter.
So. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think, it could really seriously happen. There's real validity to the rumor at this point. I mean, her doing a quick cameo for the sake of a fourth wall breaking Deadpool reference. Yeah, I mean,
they got Gambit coming back. I mean, it like you said, Dazzler's not out of the realm just for like a shot or like, hey, what's up at a bar kind of thing.
I mean, they're doing everything. Like, it's funny because they're taking the element that everybody poo-pooed on The Flash about with the whole like Nicolas Cage reference and doing it with Channing Tatum, but nobody has a problem with it because, like, I guess maybe people like Channing Tatum more as a person because, and maybe they feel like he got robbed. I mean, Nicolas Cage did too because that whole thing fell apart with out of his control, and the same thing kind of happened with Channing Tatum and the whole things just kind of fell apart, and he never got a chance to play a character that he seems to really love as a comic book fan. So I don't know. It's funny to see the comparisons between how people responded to the Nick Cage thing in The Flash and how the casting announcement or the rumored casting of Channing Tatum having a cameo as Gambit were received very differently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's also like Deadpool's character, like, it's in its nature, like, not to take things like too serious, right? Versus like The Flash, I'd see it being a bit more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, or how he breaks up the fourth wall until like, oh boy, Dazzler, you're a lot like Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
Stupid shit like that, like. Or
sing me this Taylor Swift song or whatever.
Yeah, like on a karaoke machine or something, and she, just.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and then to me, it would also make more sense for her to be Dazzler, anyways, like because she doesn't even have to act at that point because she already has the stage presence of being. Like a pop star.
It's a layup, yeah. It's easy.
Yeah, it's just easy, right? Versus like, who knows how she would be as an actress, as like Lady Deadpool or whoever else the other character.
Gentlemen and ladies who are listening, I didn't think in the Flipside history we'd be talking about Taylor Swift, but we've crossed the pinnacle.
We might get one female watcher.
Hey,
that 1%, right?
That'll be our first.
Market report time, brother.
All right,
hour in, baby.
So I'm gonna abbreviate some of it. Saw a couple AF-15 sell. We had a 0.5 for 11.8, a decent looking 0.5. And then the no grade is a coverless with a repo cover. Don't love that much. I think I'd take the 0.5 even at the higher price because the cover looks decent there. But again, like I said, I don't like a 0.5 at 11K personally. I would love to see it a little lower. I don't know if it's ever going to come lower, but that's where I'm targeting is maybe.
What do you want to see, like 7,500?
I'd like to get a complete copy back in the 10K range is where I think I'd like to be.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, making sure.
I mean, so I guess this book has increased over the 10K a point, right?
Yeah, it's cooled down a bit, especially once you get over like the into the low mids. It's slowed down a tad, but I think the bottom buy-in is still high.
I tell you, if this is, I'm going to leave off this. If they start doing Taylor Swift Deadpool covers, oh my God, people are going to lose their minds. Like variants and all this crazy shit. But anyways, keep going.
She'll sue the ass off of people that aren't paying.
Yes.
This is one
We talked about this.
Who did you did?
No, you brought this up. I remember this book. You brought this up.
I talk about the 300 a lot, but I don't know that I've seen the 252 and a 9.8 in a long time.
Maybe it was 300. I was getting confused about it. I remember Niagara Falls. Yeah,
the 300 gets talked about a lot more. I mean, I knew this exists, but I can't say I've actually seen a bunch sell.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one better than the 300. Just not that it's a great cover, but I like it a little better. They did tie it with the Secret Wars one label. But that's a solid price for it. And I do think they're fairly tough books to find. I don't see them. I don't know. I don't look for them, but I don't see a lot of them. I see the 300 a lot more than I've ever seen this one. Classic Joker cover, high grade, doing pretty well still.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's all.
I know.
Okay, that's always been a book on my want list.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think my brother upgraded recently, but I can't remember what grade he went to. This was one that surprised me as so expensive. Conan the Destroyer movie adaptation 9.8.
Wow.
430, man. I don't know. I wouldn't even consider looking for this comic, let alone, you know what I mean? There's so many other Conan comics I would go for. It's not an ugly comic. It just, I would never think this is the one I need to own, you know?
So you gotta look.
Was that? I'm sorry. Go back. Was that Marvel? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Marvel Conan the Destroyer. Let me
look. Right.
Are you looking up like pop?
Yeah. So basically, it's a movie adaptation, right? Yeah. So this is a rare 9.8, boys.
No, but I don't.
16 though.
Is it rare because nobody's
graded their copies?
I don't know. I mean, there's only 40. There's only 46 graded, and there's 2 Canadian price variants in a 982. Which
I don't know.
I mean, I think that red probably is going to be a problem. Like that wall-to-wall red is going to be definitely a problem when it comes to being able to get this book in high grade. I mean, that's any type of like wall-to-wall, anything that ain't white is going to cause you problems. Only second to black. So
again, there's a lot of other Conan books I would probably go for. I know this has the classic Arnold look on it though, so maybe that's it.
Well, I think we're at that time period in the market where people are looking for those weird and obscure things that no one has, and then you have to have the highest grade, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I also think. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Oh no, I'm just saying I haven't seen it either, but I'm like you said, the red's going to be killer. It's like how many people are really keeping that in a bag and board, and it's not getting beat up and in between like.
Well, how many of you actually have dug through Conan comics besides the original run for a 23 or 24?
Well, so I mean, I've come across every other movie adaptation, whether it be those other Star Wars ones, whether it be the Dune ones. Like, I mean, I've seen all those other Marvel's 80s adaptations out in the wild. Was it Logan's Run? Mm-hmm. Everything. I've run across all of them. I've never seen this book before.
I found the Electra one not too long ago for like $5, and then as soon as that rumor came out, I sold it.
Yeah. I just think it's one that is probably buried in the runs and we don't look.
Quite possibly. I mean, and maybe people trying to prepare. I mean, even though we talk about like, the movie spec stuff being on the deader side, like maybe somebody who's preparing for the King Conan that's been rumored for the last like 10 years, that's finally starting to get some traction again because Schwarzenegger's doing trash movies. I mean, we saw the same thing happen before the last Dune movie released. All of those Dune adaptations started jumping up in value in 98.
There's a newsstand too. What?
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Oh, now everybody's gonna be looking. Carter's gonna have 6 copies by tomorrow.
I'm gonna look in his bins during Flipside Comic Con.
Oh, that's funny. Doc Joe saying this in the newsie would be cool. Well, there you go, Joe. $6.
Hey, $6. Let's go.
Dino, you're saying people listen to me. This is probably the one book people actually listen to me on. I know for almost 500.
No, it's a third printing.
The third print is a bitch. Last I looked, there were no 9/8s. I won't swear one hasn't popped up yet, but
people are still finding this book. I saw on one of the maybe Chris members on as a comic book group or whatever Facebook groups we're on. He had a collection. The Crow was in there. He's like, "Oh, should I get this graded?" So people are still finding raw, stuff in their collection. Crows,
They live in odd people's homes because it was a subgroup that was collecting these. They're not usually the Marvel heads, so.
Yep.
But yeah, it's probably a little higher than I would have expected, but I'm glad people are paying attention. I know a 9/4 sold for less than this not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I mean, aren't we still supposed to? I mean, I know the Momoa one died, but aren't we getting the one with the Skarsgård brother supposed to still be happening? The Crow film.
I think I read it's filmed and in like post-production, but kind of living in limbo without a distributor, which probably is a terrible sign.
Which means some streaming services going to pick it up eventually.
I mean, I read something and I was like, oh, it's already shot? So I don't have a high hope at this point.
So what I heard back in April, it'll be released in the first month of 24, whatever that means.
I don't know. I read an article and it just didn't make me feel good. We'll see.
So you'll surprisingly see it on like Netflix one day, and then
it'll be like The Chosen, just show up.
yeah.
What's this one? Oh, man, people are still in hard and heavy on Star Wars though.
This is Comic Man Andy.
Oh wow.
This book.
I mean, people are not dropping the modern Star Wars spec.
Well, I mean, Andy, he paid quite a bit more than this.
Right, I know.
But I mean, this book is always like, whenever that rumor started, like this book was always around that $1,000 mark.
I know, and I just don't.
Well,
why do we have such strong faith that it's gonna like?
Well,
ever happen?
Well, even if it does, is it gonna change the world? There's so much Star Wars out there now.
Well, but I mean, Ahsoka comes out tomorrow? Yeah, Ahsoka drops tomorrow. Yeah, no,
Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday now.
Yeah, it's Tuesday now, and it's Tuesday, and it's like 6 p.m.
Pacific.
Yep. So that you don't have to. So those folks don't have to wait till midnight anymore.
It's like Mandalorian. Is it by episode or the whole thing?
They're doing 2 episodes on the premiere.
Okay.
And I think they're doing weekly drops.
People are still hoping or banking on. I mean, this is such a beloved character that they're hoping that she'll finally get, her Thrawn moment. And I can see it happening in Ahsoka or something after Ahsoka. But I can see it happening timeline wise. It makes sense for it to happen in Ahsoka.
Is she a beloved character, or is it a character that people want to be big because they have money in it?
No, she actually, from Star Wars comic book readers, I mean, like the character wouldn't have got as long. I mean, she had a pretty long running series. And that doesn't happen during the days that it happened unless people gave a shit about her. There were other characters got introduced like that people could give 2 shits about during that time period. Yeah, she had her fans as far as people who were reading, Star Wars and Marvel during that time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, even if you read it now, it's a decent read. Like, I'm rereading it right now, and I'm still enjoying it.
Okay. This is another one that surprises me. I guess if you collect Spawn Malibu Sun 13, then this is just as likely. I just am. I don't know. Is Malibu Sun that rare? And then, if so, then what about characters that are more popular that appear there first? You know, should they be more valuable? I just spent some time thinking about that because there's a lot of characters that appear first in Malibu Sun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And why is it only the ones who are obscure on their next book that are valuable?
Lady Death and then Malibu Sun. I mean, it could be. My buddy's got a Lady Death on his back. It's sick.
So, John, to answer your question, I think honestly, it's the rarity game. So if you are already obscure to begin with in your first appearance, you're even more obscure. True first appearance is just like people are just wanting that completionist type of thing. I mean, the same thing happens with Hellboy for the longest. Like with all of those, like even more obscure with Bone and those obscure college paper prints of Bone. Like it's that completionist. It's like to be able to say I have the most rare example. I mean, as a car guy, as a sneakerhead, it happens in both of those worlds. It's like, well, I've got there was only 1,000 of these made in this year in that color with those options. Like the true fanboys of whatever that thing is will really try to like one up each other when it comes to obscurity of a whatever it may be, and comics are no different. So
yeah, I guess I was just like, what are some other things that appear there that their first appearance is not rare and isn't valuable, but there's some hardcore fans that maybe would be into it. I don't know. It's probably just a run worth delving back into, I guess, in my head.
You if you come across it out in the wild for some snatch it up, because there's definitely somebody who will pay you for it.
Yeah.
So.
Spawn caught my interest. I always like this one. Gorgeous cover.
Yeah,
tough book
cover.
to find. I mean, I do not think this one will ever not sell. I think you'd probably do really well with it next month, but this book feels dead as a doornail because this is a nice-ish copy that would have been $750 last year, 2 years ago. Now this book, no, not this one. I'm gonna skip that one. I'm just amused. This one's like shit. If it truly is very fine for $300, that's a tough ass book. And again, one of those characters that lives in James Gunn's head, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it is a very fine, and somebody I think probably got a great deal.
Are you sure they're not trying to say it's a fine, very fine?
Yeah, probably, but either way, that's a tough book.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see many in any kind of shape that's not shit.
Yeah.
They just are tough. Let's see. First time I've seen one of these in a very long time, a Page of Wiz 2. Pretty cheap. Not the best page though, so.
Dang.
I guess I'd like to see the back. I didn't get into that. Nice Monera cover that continues to sell pretty damn well.
Way better than the Spider-Woman cover.
Agree. I like this one more. I had a copy of this at one point, a 9.8. I mean, I sold it long ago, but I did actually put one in my collection for a little bit, and he doesn't make my collection often. And then Zelda seems to be picking up steam again. These were down a bit, and now they're back moving.
Well,
another thing we talked about, Mario, Zelda's right up there. Fucking every game, every generation.
I thought they were, because of the success of Mario, they're going to do a Zelda. I mean, knows that.
Yeah, so Donkey Kong's getting his own thing. I think there was mention of a Legend of Zelda thing finally happening. So Nintendo's like, oh, we are going to capitalize on like this newfound film success and run it into the ground potentially.
Yeah.
I hope they make a Link Zelda joke.
Maybe video game movies are the next 15 years, guys.
Yeah. I won't mind it.
You guys finished Twisted Metal yet or no?
I did. I watched it the first weekend.
I got to the first episode, and I just need to sign up for Paramount Plus for Peacock. To finish watching the rest of it.
I stole my cousin's account.
I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, it gave me enough, like, when I got done, I'm like, man, I'd like to play that game right now. Thank you.
Right.
I mean, it's one of the times where Anthony Mackie, I mean, I'm a firm believer that Anthony Mackie doesn't act. Anthony Mackie just plays Anthony Mackie. And so it either works really well for the character he's playing or it doesn't work at all. And I think for this character, the John Doe character, it definitely works. So,
when can we talk about spoilers, Z, for this?
For what?
For Twisted Metal.
I don't know.
Whenever, because most people probably don't have Peacock.
Yeah. I mean,
if you haven't watched it right now, I don't know.
Okay. No. Okay. Let's talk about what happens at the end, I guess. I think it's no surprise that they're gonna have a season 2. Obviously, I think that's gonna be just as good as season 1 based on what they're doing in season 2 or gonna do in season 2. I guess.
I don't know. I for characters that didn't exist that were just cars, I thought they did a good job making you have characters you care about.
Correct.
And giving you a story that could actually go on.
Correct.
It created some kind of world that, felt Living Dead without zombies, or Walking Dead without zombies.
Right. And drama where it wasn't over the top crazy stuff. I mean, it was crazy because it was in a setting. It was crazy, but not over the top where it was campy and like, oh my god, this takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Or fast forwarding it through it.
Do those video games actually have like storylines to them?
they do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I
All
didn't know.
drivers have their own story. Sweet Tooth has had a story arc through all the games. Like he's like the one unifying force. Him and the main villain are like the unifying force between all of those Twisted Metal games.
Okay.
Oh boy. We got a hot take. Planning on watching Gran Turismo. Let me know how that shithole movie is gonna be.
I'll watch that one when it gets to
DVD.
home. Yeah.
No, maybe it's good. I hate the shit on it, but it doesn't look good.
No, I think those will not be the positive trend. Those will probably be more in line with the history of what video game movies have been.
Sure.
I mean, there were ones where I really hoped they were going to be good, like the Need for Speed movie. Doom, Need for Speed.
Doom.
I mean,
But
what's they made a career making shitty German video game movies. God, what's his,
Uwe Boll.
Yeah, Uwe Boll. Like God, everything he does was trashy. So
well, they're probably trying to get into some of that F1 money because like those people spend money.
So F1, F1 is like the number one Netflix show. Everyone's tuning into F1 races now. It's like everyone loves F1. It's interesting.
I mean, they don't have a lot of money into Gran Turismo. It's a racing movie.
Yeah.
It's also not like a game that is everybody's favorite game. There's a group of people that loved it, but it wasn't like, it's not a touchstone game.
Yeah, it's Fast and the Furious, but number one, not number.
Yeah,
it's like I bought the PlayStation whatever because with Gran Turismo because everyone else was sold out of the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, call me when there's a Red Dead movie, and then probably every in.
Yeah.
So.
You got to wait like 15 years before they get to westerns again.
Yeah. I don't have. I guess I didn't show it on Carter. Right, our show on Carter. It's been bagged. I'm gonna keep this forever. I'll open it up right now. So I bought this not on the website. I'll show my little pickup, and then that's all I have really. And Carter's not here. I feel bad. Me and Carter went to SummerSlam. I bought something not at the merch station because I couldn't get there, but I bought a SummerSlam 23 Detroit shirt.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you gonna wear that under the jacket on Saturday?
I might actually bring the cream of the crop shirt. I think.
Wow. Nice.
I don't know. Do I bring the jacket? It's a little too much. I don't know.
You gotta hang the jacket up at least so people can get photos.
So
yeah, I mean, Carter palming comics.
Carter.
Palming your pickup, and then you red jacket. Like
I'll bring the chain too.
Dude, you might need to just let people wear it for pictures, cosplay as you.
Oh boy!
Just charge for people $5 to like take a picture of it.
We're gonna have a CEO cosplay event at the con now.
Oh boy! Everyone dressed up as a Flipside Comic-Con person.
The
CEO contest or cosplay contest.
Oh boy!
The Northern Ohio, Southern Michigan Goodwills are getting a run out of red jackets as we
Oh
speak.
boy!
People are gonna start robbing like real estate places for their red jackets.
Jesus Christ! So I hope not. That's the only thing I got pickups. Like I'm saying, waiting on. So I bought. Like I guess I'll talk to you about it. I bought a Captain America. Was it 14? I think. Is that what it was? Variant. Got it for cheap. And it just hadn't shipped yet in like 10 days. So, and then the guy goes, "I'm out of town," so that kind of sucks.
Oh, bastard!
I'm like, great, perfect. Whatever. I was showing that off. I thought it was going to be right now. But anybody else got pickups? Anybody else
almost bought some OA tonight on Comic Link, but I withheld the last minute.
You are.
I have outgoing stuff. Does that count?
No one cares. No. I guess let's talk about it. You went back to Whatnot.
Yeah. So I hadn't been on Whatnot in like 8 months, and I was like, kind of like,
that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
How was your audience? How many people?
It peaked out at like 25 or something like that.
What did you used to get?
Huh?
What did you used to get?
About the same.
Okay.
To be complete.
Is it down? Is it down in general? Do you go on Whatnot?
I mean, overall, like things averaged out to like to be profitable. Like
no, I mean, is our views across down the app? Like, do you like buy things on there?
I honestly, I don't even shop on there, so I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't been on in like 8 months. Like to be honest, and even if I am on there, I'm not there to shop for comics. To be completely honest, like
I'm a card guy, aren't you?
I'd rather just sit there and like go into a card break or whatever, just because like
you like to gamble.
Yeah. I did like I bought the Mets in a 2-box Chrome Jumbo.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit for like $40, which is not bad. I ended up hitting a Singa rookie Blue Wave Auto, which is like a $200 card. So,
nice.
Yeah. Wow. Those Asian pictures, you can't stop them.
And fucking, I got a beef with Chris about our little raffle today, but he's killing me, Chris. Okay, 2-spotter again. God damn it.
Do I have any other pickups? Shout out to Big Leg, because I don't know if I showed this on here, but he told me about the card with the from yesterday's. This was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Apparently you had to order it online and then pick it up at the con.
Oh wow, that's shitty.
Yeah, and then so I sent Laura from Bird City to like pick me up one. Okay. And then she tried every day, and then they were like, "Yeah, come back tomorrow." And then on the final day, they're like, "Oh, you had to pre-order it," and then they sold all their leftovers online after the con, like a week after. Man. But it's limited to 350 hand number.
So did you buy that after the con?
I did buy it after the con.
Shitty. That's shitty.
For $40. So
yeah,
but it comes with a T-shirt too as well. And I've been needing a Misfits shirt for a while. So
yeah.
And then last pickup, House of Stein sticker.
Let's go.
Nice.
Out of 50 autographed. I'm pretty sure that's a jersey match.
I'm
just joking.
Are you sitting at the PSA?
I'm hoping for that 11. But yeah.
Chris, what you got, man? You got anything crazy?
Nothing crazy, but so won a couple Razzies that should be in the next week or so. So yeah, I decided to do some of the J. Scott Campbell. So I did one of his stuff mystery box, and then one of other artists. So to explain this, basically, since he's doing a bunch of covers for Marvel, really only Marvel, because I don't think I've ever seen. He does some DC stuff every once in a blue moon. Is that he still also gets the 1 in 25s, the 1 in 200s, the 1 in 100s, the 1 in 500s. Even if they're not his covers, he gets those because his store is printing 1,000, of ASM2 or whatever. So basically, they'll do an unload every now and again where they'll do mystery boxes of both his shit and whatever the ratios that he got. So in one of the boxes, I had one of those guys. And I haven't posted these yet, but the signed stuff went up immediately. Again, just
Oh, that's like a 1 in 200 or 1 in 500 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like when Stacy won.
Yeah, so those guys.
Yeah, a lot of high variance there.
How much did the box cost?
I don't remember. I think I can check the website real fast, or somebody can pull up on the website real fast. Again, one of these guys was in the box signed. It's already going up. Yep. So let's see what else. So that's already up on eBay. So if anybody wants it, fair game. It started at $19. Also started at $19. Another, I think this is X-Men Legends. His one e-cover. X-Men, his one F cover signed also. Black Cat number 1C cover signed as well. And then we have the Amazing Mary Jane, the 90s cover. Apparently this was one that people really wanted. And then some of the other stuff that was in there we have that weren't his books were X-Men Legends 1 in 25. His 1 in 200. I don't think this is anything special, but it's still, yeah.
I think that's still like a 1 in 50.
Yeah. And then this was a 1 in 25 Harley Quinn anniversary number 1. So yeah, so I mean it was worthwhile stuff, and I mean
it's sold out. It doesn't give me a price.
I feel like you probably got your money's worth.
Yeah, I think those were only like $60.
Yeah.
Oh, for $60, yeah, that's a steal.
$30 value per comic. Oh, $87.50. Here's a $87.50 JSC.
Yeah, still not bad.
Yeah, so you can still get his mystery box for but the other one was actually the one to get. Honestly, I wish I bought 2 or 3 more of the
they were
the ratio ones.
In the random ratio, so you never know. Yeah,
but they're always. But think about it, they're guaranteed to be ratios, because if you print, like if you're doing 1,000 of your cover, anything that's not your cover is guaranteed to be the 1 in 25, the 1 in 50, the 1 in 100, the 1 in 200, the 1 in 500, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, see, like they're advertising that 1 in 500 Rose Beige, the 1 in 100 Archer, or is that more 200? Whatever, same difference.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, in hindsight, I wish I had bought more of like the various artist mystery box, because again, those were all guaranteed to just be a bunch of ratio variants that were just shit that
just randomly put into because I mean, what else is he gonna do with those? In all honesty,
I mean like this is just in general.
Yeah, so they do sell, like he will sell them through his site, like so his non-ratio variants do get posted. But yeah, there you go. So that is that's the regular cover, I think. Yeah, because that's got the Marvel insignia on it. So if you zoom back in, you'll see that the only difference between these two guys is at the very top, you've got a classic Marvel logo on the 1 in 200, and then the regular one had the regular Marvel logo. So somebody probably got one of these, didn't realize that it was special, and probably threw that bitch up for like 99 cents on eBay, and didn't realize they just let a 1 in 200 go for no money whatsoever.
Interesting. You know what's funny? Look, I wouldn't say shitted on him, but he's doing it right. He's giving back. He's supporting other artists too, and their work. I mean, he's shipping really well. Obviously, he always does that really well. So at least he's doing it right, man. Right?
I don't think we've shit on him. He's a smart business guy.
No, I'm just saying, like we were talking about how much shit he puts out. You know what I'm saying?
He's not creative on his art per se at this point, but the man figured out the game before everybody else.
Correct.
Well, wait, here, scroll back down to the bottom again. What is that amazing Mary Jane cover I just held up? What is it he's selling it for? The 2000. Oh shit, he's selling it for $52. So yes, it's $19.99 on my eBay right now. Go grab it.
Yeah. Is it buy it now or is it auction?
I think that one's a buy it now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, this thing's. I got that book still. I got that in my box. I just saw it. I bought it when it was like first came out. Not signed though.
I'm gonna snag up your Polaris cover in a second.
Okay, there we go. Gwen Stacy number 1 JSC retail $15. Okay, so I'll post it for a 99-cent auction and let it rip. See what happens.
Interesting. 1 in 100. Like you said, this would be 1 in 1,000 because nobody cares about Redstone.
Exactly. I mean, anything on Diamond, like or Dynamite, like it really truly might as well be a 1 in 1,000 because nobody, with the exception of the Gargoyles, like everybody bought the shit out of that Gargoyles #1. So you can find 1 in 500s all day long of that book.
Yeah, I have like a 1 in 15 Red Sonja Jenny Frizen cover.
Well, Dazzler. Cover season.
And honestly, it's got the Taylor Swift face a little bit already.
Oh boy.
Are we sure that Taylor Swift is not J. Scott Campbell's model?
No, it's his wife. Have you seen his wife?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I was just joking around. Which one though?
Yeah, he decided to cut them. No, it's good for him. Like, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I'm not shitting on him. I'm not saying
he figured out this fucking game a long time ago. He's been doing it really well. He packages well.
He's a member. He's a member of like the CBSI Facebook group too. He posts in there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he figured it out. He did it right. He doesn't like half-ass it,
and he doesn't even have to be an artist alley. Like, have you seen his booth?
Yeah. I mean, he's. I guess you would call him not maybe an artist in sub level, but like Neil Adams big, right? He's not. He wasn't an artist alley. He had a 4 square, and like he didn't give a fuck. You know?
I mean, he's a retailer artist at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the shit sells. I mean, like, you know, we keep saying, we make these jokes and stuff like that, but every single San Diego Comic-Con, there is a secret version of whatever fucking book, and that shit is gone. I mean, this year it was the Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, Felicia Hardy cover.
The chibi cover?
Yeah, the chibi face cover that he did. And, I mean, I think I sent one off to CGC, and it came back a 9.8, and that bitch sold for, I think, 200. So...
Yeah.
He
doesn't mess around.
Oh, dang.
Yep, that guy.
Raina 3 seen his daughter.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to hate the guy. I mean, like, legitimately, his books you can take straight from his booth and put them in a CGC box, and them shits are going to be 9.8s.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, y'all have the #1 J. Scott Campbell fan on every so often anyways.
Who's that?
Joe, Red Hood.
Oh boy. Oh.
Dude, that dude has like at least like 3 long boxes and like 5 short boxes of J. Scott Campbell books.
If I wish they would have came to Heroes Con back in like 2018 when we had the Forgotten 5 comics. I had a long box of J. Scott Campbell that no one gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
But cool. All right. Yeah. What else? Yeah. So, Flipside Comic Con Saturday.
Are you excited?
I'm reserved. I'm not nervous about vending or the vendors. I'm more worried about hopefully there's a decent crowd. I just want to do decently. That's what I'm more worried about. Like for me, it's just I just show up and be the man. No, I just show up. I help Carter build a wall. I got to set the thing up, which is just bringing out tables. No big deal. We should have a lot of space. Space shouldn't be an issue, hopefully. And that's it, man. I mean, I just come out, hang out, good time, and like, you know,
drink a couple beers.
Shit. Yeah, a couple beers, hang out. Like, you know, it is what it is, man. So, yeah,
it's a good way to close out the summer, you know.
Yeah,
like
right. Yeah,
schools,
and it's
school right around the corner, all that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
and for me, it's like.
Yeah.
I just want to have a Flipside meetup or old CBSI G Plus meet, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Just not Baltimore or, you know, something like that. Just something like, you know, where it's centrally located and we don't have, you know, John Z doesn't have to run to a strip club and walk home and, you know.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get mugged every minute.
Correct. Yeah. So I think if we can do this, I don't know, Chris, do you think GTW is more accessible than Baltimore, I guess? I don't know.
Honestly, yeah, because I mean it's still a major airport, and where you're located at, you're not gonna break people that have to just if they decide to Uber out from the airport. Personally.
Yeah, or and you can stay like Auburn Hills, you can stay somewhere closer. You know, not like you don't stay in Milford. You can stay like around Milford, and it's like
you can stay in Detroit.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, if you wanted to. Yeah,
30 minutes ain't that far. At least for us Southern folks, it takes 30 minutes to get anywhere in Atlanta. So.
Yeah. So.
It takes me 30 minutes to get anywhere in Texas.
Oh boy! Well, it's because God's country.
That's your mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's only about half a mile away.
Well, it's because everybody drives 3 miles an hour. So.
Shit. Have you
not
driven
in
to Dallas?
have you been to Houston? Have you been to
I
San
went.
Antonio?
I went to San Antonio and like nobody knew. Everybody was driving like 10 miles. Like, what's going on?
Because no one knows how to drive in San Antonio.
I know.
Yeah,
Turn
Dallas, you'll
signal.
have
What's that?
Yeah, Dallas, you'll have a F450 barreling down. You had a $110 on the highway.
I just think that Flipside show is just kind of going back to the channel. But yeah, it's basically bags, boards, and beers. Yeah, it's just like beers and backboards. So yeah, just hang out. Hopefully, I could do 2 a year. Hopefully, like I said, April, maybe August, September, April, May, just depending. Ramping it up, closing it down, kind of like a pool. Yeah. So cool. All right. Tuesday, we're not gonna do a Tuesday show because I actually got to work at the bar at night. So we might do it Wednesday. I was talking to Carter. Wednesday is good for Carter. I don't know if you want to show up on Wednesday. You have a very exclusive life with all these podcasts.
I know. When Wednesday, I'm on Beyond Wednesdays. So.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit. No, you tell Brian what's up. I'm trying to make it on Brian's show. I just got to do it a day where it all lines up.
Wednesdays or Saturdays.
Okay. Maybe I'll come on Saturday. Ooh.
Yeah, join us on Monarch Comic Mayhem.
Oh boy,
it gets crazy on that show.
I know, it's gonna be insane. Okay, so with everybody, I appreciate it. Come support me, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. Sign up for Dirty Flippers. That's it, and we'll talk to everybody later. I appreciate it. And I'll definitely have stories on Monday. So. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Deuces.